Hello, this is Dr. Gaurav, and today I focus on the development of the human kidney. During development of the human kidney, ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny, that is, the evolutionary history of the organ repeats itself. So in this cartoon, we can see this person is harping time and time again saying ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny, and the student of science is able to make out that he's talking about the human kidney. So this cartoon has been made to impress in your mindset the importance of this statement in the development of the human kidney. Now the intermediate mesoderm, it forms a bulging in relation to the posterior abdominal wall, and that is called the nephrogenic cord, shown in green here. The nephrogenic cord extends from the cervical region to the sacral region and is lying lateral to the dorsal mesentery of the gut. So this is the dorsal mesentery of the gut, and this is the nephrogenic cord in green. From medial to lateral side, the following structures are formed in relation to the nephrogenic cord. They are the developing gonad, the developing kidney, the mesonephric duct, and the paramesonephric duct. Now, as I mentioned, ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Now, what is ontogeny? Ontogeny is the origin and development of an organism, while phylogeny is the evolutionary history of an organism. So, during development of the kidney, there are different stages. So, the first stage is the pronephros. This is the functional kidney in the cyclostomes, and fishes. So, in some cyclostomes and fishes, the functional kidney is the pronephros, but in human beings this is non-functional and it develops in the cervical region. So it soon disappears, and what is left is a duct which is called the nephric duct, and this duct opens into the cloaca. Then the second stage is the mesonephros. The mesonephros is the functional kidney in anamniotes. Now, anamniotes are those organisms which do not have an amniotic cavity. So, in most anamniotes, mesonephros is the functional kidney, and this develops in the thoracolumbar region, and the mesonephric tubules of the mesonephros, they join with the nephric duct to form this green structure called the mesonephric duct, and now it opens into the cloaca. So pronephros disappears and a nephric duct is left, and mesonephros disappears from the thoracolumbar region, and the mesonephric tubules, they unite with the nephric duct to form this mesonephric duct, which opens now into the cloaca. The next stage is the metanephros. This is the functional kidney in amniotes. Amniotes means those having an amniotic cavity, and they include birds, reptiles, and mammals. In fact, metanephros is the functional human kidney in vertebrates. So this metanephros, it lies in the sacral region, and it forms the definitive kidney in vertebrates. Now this metanephros, uh, it gives rise to the excretory component of the kidneys. That is, it gives rise to the nephron. And what about the collecting component of the kidney? Well, that arises as a bud called the ureteric bud, which arises from the lower part of the mesonephric duct. So this blue structure, ureteric bud, gives rise to the collecting component of the human kidney, while this red structure, the metanephros, it gives rise to the excretory component of the kidney, that is the nephron. So this ureteric bud, it shows the dilatation at its growing end called the ampulla, and this ampulla divides repeatedly to form the pelvis, the calyces, and the collecting tubules. So this here is the region of the ampulla. This growing end of the ureteric bud ampulla is also an inducer to metanephric tissue. What do you mean by an inducer? Inducer means that it has the ability to cause differentiation of the metanephric tissue. Okay, so here we see the ampulla dividing repeatedly to form the pelvis, the calyces, and it will also form the collecting tubule. So here we have the pelvis, the calyces, and the collecting tubule. So the uh, pelvis, calyces, and the collecting tubules, they are formed by the repeated division of the ampulla, and this leads to the formation of the collecting part of the human kidney. The ampulla also induces the metanephric tissue, and this metanephric blastema, which is initially the metanephrosis present as metanephric blastema. So this metanephric blastema, when it gets induced by the ampulla, this metanephric blastema becomes a metanephric vesicle. This vesicle assumes the shape of an S-shaped tube. The distal end of the tube gets invaginated by capillaries, and this leads to the formation of the glomerulus, and the various parts of the nephron are formed from the S-shaped tube. So the metanephros is giving rise to the excretory component of the kidney, that is the nephron, while the collecting part of the kidney is formed from the ureteric bud. So here we have the different parts of the nephron here: proximal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop, the distal convoluted tubule. They are formed from metanephros, while the collecting tubule here is formed from the ureteric bud. So this inductive tune, as I call it here, it is showing a person saying sometimes a kick in the butt is required to get the job done. So this is to reinforce in your mind that there are inducers, and during development of the kidney, the ampulla induces the metanephric blastema so that the nephrons are formed. And also when you will do the development of the gonads, there you have the primordial germ cells, which are the inducers, and we induce the formation of the gonad. Now here, this is my favorite one. This is showing the lightning and the thunder. The lightning and the thunder is stating differential growth of abdominal wall can cause ascent or descent. And this girl here, she's so cool and collected even in this posture. She says, okay, I understand you're talking about the kidney and the gonads respectively. This is because during development, the kidneys, they ascend from the sacral region. Remember, the metanephros is formed in the sacral region. So the kidneys ascend from the sacral region and they go to the lumbar region, while the gonads, you will study subsequently, they descend during their development. So such tunes, they help you in memorizing, and if they do, then they serve their purpose. So what are the take-home points from today's class? Well, one is ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny during development of the human kidney. Other is that the collecting component of the kidney is formed from the ureteric bud, and the excretory component of the kidney is formed from the metanephron. Third point is that the ampulla, it induces the metanephric blastema, and the ampulla divides repeatedly to form the collecting component of the kidney, while the metanephric blastema is going to form the excretory component of the kidney, that is the nephron. And then lastly, this ascent of the kidney is due to the differential growth of the abdominal wall mainly, and similarly the descent of the gonads is also due to the differential growth of the abdominal wall. So I thank you for your time and cooperation, and till the next time we meet when we do the development of the gonads, it's bye from me. Thank you.